So, today we are talking about overwhelm in business. Feeling overwhelmed, wanting to cry a little bit, not getting things done because overwhelm is excruciating and ridiculous. Before we get started, I want you guys to introduce yourself. So, if anyone wants to be on screen, come on screen. Veronica, why don't you start? I would love to know what your name is, what your business is, and how many things are on your to do list. And then everyone else put that in the chat while Veronica goes. Go. Perfect. Totally makes sense. Okay, Jennifer, tell us yours. I want your name, what you do, and how many things are on your to do list. In general, you can say for today. Way to be. I had a feeling that you were going to be like, dude, I have 5 in a day. Don't, or like 3. So I'm proud of you. Perfect. Yep. Fair, fair. All right. Maria, tell me what your name is, what you do, and how many things are on your to do list. Perfect. I love it. I love it. You guys don't even need me. I'm gonna take a nap. All right, Lisa, tell me what you do, your name, and how many things are on your to do list. And you guys can say just because they said a small amount does not mean you guys can't be like 70 million. For sure. Okay, tell me what you do. Okay, cool. I have a question about that. Healthcare. You know what? Message me because I have a question, but it's not for this class. But be like, Carrie, you had a question about what I do? Because we need to talk. Okay, Bree, tell me who you are, what you do, and what your to-do list looks like. I do want to see them. I have a journal problem, so like you also message me. Okay, for sure. Okay. Awesome, awesome. Okay, in the chat, guys, tell me some of the general stuff too. Who you are, what you do. Tell me what your to-do list looks like. Be real about it, and like it's okay if it's little, it's okay if it's big. No judgments at all. And then someone else just hopped on. I thought they disappeared. Lizette, tell us who you are, what you do, and what your to-do list looks like. How many things are on your to-do list? She may have froze. Hey, okay. It's okay to not have a to-do list. Hey, Lizette, you're breaking up super bad. Put yours in the chat for me and I'll read it to everyone. I'm gonna mute her for just a second. All right. Can you get sorry. Lizette, put that in the chat. I'm gonna tell her you are breaking up super bad. Put your stuff here. Okay. Can you guys also hear me okay? Yep. We're doing okay? Okay. Cool. So I'm going to introduce myself because sometimes I forget that and not all of you know me. My name is Kara Laws. I help women start successful businesses. I have started 6 businesses. I've sold 4. I still run 2. And I'm just here to teach you guys stuff, some cool stuff. And I have a freebie. If you go to the event and then home at the bottom, there is a freebie to get a checklist of all of the things you actually need to have a successful business. And we're going to use that just a little bit in this class today. But if you want the whole checklist, go and get that. My to-do list, at one point in time, I remember typing up my whole entire list because, I felt like some pride in my busyness. I don't know if anyone feels that way ever. Sometimes when I'm super overwhelmed and busy, I feel like proud of myself. Like it must mean I'm doing things. And so I typed up my whole to-do list, 3 columns, typed up 4 pages. And I was like, guys, I'm busy and therefore I am super important. Except how the heck do you get anything done? How do you ever feel accomplished? How do you ever actually feel like things are getting done when every day you sit down and you look at this never ending list? So we're going to talk about the list because even if you're not writing it down, it's running in your brain and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to do that. And I forgot to do this and all of these little pieces. Okay. So we're going to talk about all of those things. Feeling overwhelmed in business is not good for your brain. It doesn't help your productivity. It doesn't help your creativity. It does not help you be more resilient in business, which business to do wish list for sure. In business, not being resilient. Let me say that differently. In business, we need to be resilient because it's hard, right? You're like, oh my gosh, I sold the journal. I feel really, really great today. And then like 44 seconds later, you're like, I feel like freaking crap. I suck at this. It's dumb. I'm an idiot. Whatever it looks like, we've all done it. We've all wanted to hide under our desks and cry and drink heavily. It's totally normal, but we want to reduce all of that so that you don't have as many lows. And when you do go down, we're bouncing back faster. Getting rid of some of your overwhelm will help with this. And having a list that is 4 pages long, not helpful. Not at all helpful. It is just super stressful and frustrating. So, how do you break it down? We want to make sure you guys can break it down and take all of this stuff and this chaos and these things that you want to do and make them into step-by-step actionable steps. Now, I have a question for you guys. How many of you are in a startup phase of business? So startup is really under 100K. 100K, you're still figuring things out. You don't have any people working for you. Startup, 1, 2, 3, most of you. Okay. So I am going to go ahead and share this with us really quickly then. This is my freebie in the chat that you guys, not in the chat, event, home, there's a button. Okay. I'm going to share this with you. Nicole has seen it. A couple people have seen it. But we're just going to go through it really quickly. One of my favorite things to do to start figuring out how to reduce all of the things is with a really good checklist that is in order of how things need to be done, right? When we're starting a business, we're like, oh my God, I freaking don't know. I have to do my marketing and my branding and like 1.5 million other things. And I don't know what comes first or what goes in the right order. This will help you break things down if you guys are just starting into the right order. Because sometimes we start all the way down here and we're trying to do all of the online presence and we haven't finished our branding yet. And then you have to go back and redo it. Sometimes we end up all the way down here and we're working on our systems. Well, you can't have systems unless everything else is set up. So what you guys want to do, this is step by step getting these things done for you guys. Start at the top. And I want you guys to go through, and this is a business essentials checklist. I also use it for my businesses that are just starting. Go through and make sure all of this is done. So it's today I'm doing step 1. Because a lot of people are going to look at this and be like, this is 7 pages, Kara. This isn't a relief. This doesn't make me feel better. Nope. You're going to do one thing a day. That's it. And you're like, I have a business name. I can check that off. Check off business name if you already have your phone number, whatever that looks like. And you can see where you're actually at as you start checking all of these things off. And maybe you check off the whole first 3 pages and then you go, oh, my next priority is actually online presence. I'm going to spend the whole next month making sure I get this taken care of. And I'm not going to worry about everything else. We're going to break it down and be like, now I'm right here. This is where I'm at right now. Building a business. Some people get confused about what a business is. Sometimes we think that if we are selling products, we therefore have a business. Just the selling of products or services is a business. That's not actually what a business is. Do any of you guys watch Shark Tank? Is anyone obsessed with Shark Tank? Because like I was for a super long time. Okay. In Shark Tank, they say it all the time. I think Mark Cuban says it a lot. I haven't watched it in a long time, but they talk about you don't have a business, you have a product. You don't have a business, you have a product. I'm not investing in your business because you don't have a business, you have a product. Having a product is like, I sell some stuff, but you don't have the whole picture. The whole picture is a machine. The whole business is a machine that runs. It's predictable. You have your marketing. You know what happens next. You have people. You're not the person doing all of the work. You have people hired. It is an entire machine that runs. And sometimes when we're getting started and we're trying to clear off the overwhelm in our life, we're like, oh, I'm just selling stuff. This is my business. I'm just selling. I'm selling. Someone bought my stuff. I'm a business. No, we need higher goals than that. That's part of the whole building a business structure is you want to make sure that you're hitting all of these points because startup sucks the most. Once you get out of it, once you start getting over 100K, your job actually gets easier. Your job as the CEO gets easier. I worked with a lot of million plus CEOs. One of my first mentors, her business was at about 15 million when we started working together. And she says, every single time I have way less to do at multiple millions of dollars than I ever did at startup. And the difference isn't like, oh, she just knew how to work harder. No, she knew how to grow an entire business. To get out of the overwhelm, we have to know how to grow an entire business. We're doing the whole entire structure, the whole entire machine, not just I can sell some stuff. Does that make sense? Make sense? We feel okay with that? Okay. So if you guys need the checklist, I strongly suggest it. Go get it and start going through that and seeing what your next steps might look like for your business. Where are you at? Where do you need to start spending your time? All right. Tell me in the chat really quickly how you're feeling about that business is a bigger picture. It's a whole entire machine. Does that make sense? Give me a 10 if it's making sense. Give me a 2 if you're like, I don't really know what you're talking about, but I nod my head a lot. Which is fine. Okay, we get that whole entire machine, and we want to get out of startup as fast as we can. Out of startup, that's when we're hitting 100K consistently. We're going to have to start bringing people on. We have good systems set up. We have good automations, okay? Okay, so the next thing I want you guys to be looking at or thinking about is there will always be new opportunities. Always. Another one of my business coaches, she was a good one. She was great. She is great. She still exists on the planet. She is great. I have all of the ADD issues where I like to go from this one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is such a good opportunity. Should we buy a hotel? And my husband's like, no. And I'm like, but should we? But should we buy a hotel? Should we? This is a sidebar. I started a cotton candy business with my kids this summer because I was on a call with a life coach and she told me I need to lean into more of my whims. So I started a 7th business with my kids. I'm now selling it, but it's fine. Anyway, there are so many opportunities. My coach told me, because I was talking to her about some other thing that I wanted to do. I needed to fly across the country for something. And she says, Kara, you will have more opportunities in a week than you can take advantage of in a lifetime. You have to know where you're going. You have to know what your plans are. You have to know what you're actually looking for. And that quote has stayed with me for years because it's true. If you're looking around, there is a hotel for sale in my small town right now. And I look at it every freaking day. That's not my path right now. That's not what I'm doing right now. And when we jump ship, we never, and jump ship and jump ship and jump ship, we never give our business the opportunity to actually grow, right? We all know startup phase sucks. It's the hardest place to be. If we're jumping ship all the time, we're not actually giving that business a place to grow because we gave up before it had a chance or we got distracted by something else. So knowing, I want you guys to like write that down even, especially if you're having a hard time that you shift gears all the time. I know some people in here already said it. They're feeling like they shift gears all the time. Write that down. You will have more opportunities in a week than you could take advantage of in a lifetime. You have to choose the opportunities that are getting you closer to your goals right now. Right now, right now, right now. Which leads me to my next one. In order to know which steps are leading you closer to your goals, you have to have goals. You absolutely have to have goals in your business. You have to know what's important. You have to know where you're headed. You have to know what things head you that direction. So as some of you may know, this group doesn't know me that well. Like some of you know me, some of you do not. So I will tell you, my first business I started when I was 19, my first real business. You know, we all have like the little underground from my parents' house businesses. And I ran a pizza place for a while, but my first real legit, just my business was a wedding photographer. And I just kind of decided I wanted to be a wedding photographer one day. So I bought everything and I went to a bridal show. And when I first started that, I started it because I had just gotten married, of course, at 19. I got married. I might've been 20, who knows? And finding a photographer is a pain in the butt. I don't know if you guys ever searched for a photographer. It is a freaking pain in the butt. You have no idea. You're just going through lists of people. You have no idea who's charging you what. The prices are all over the place. You have a million meetings. It's a pain in the butt. Family photographer, wedding photographer, whatever. So when I went into this, my goal and my plan was to create a online business hub for photographers where you could go take a quiz based on just style. So you could be like, which picture do you like better? And you'd be like, A. And then it's like, which picture, what style, like what posing do you like better? And you would choose it all. And then at the end, it would spit out your ideal photographer. Like that would be incredible, right? Freaking incredible. That was my goal. And I was going to bring all these photographers on and people were going to pay to be on there. And that was going to happen. But I never wrote it down. I never checked it weekly. I never checked it yearly. It was just like this pie in the sky thing that I thought maybe that might happen. I don't know how it was going to happen, but maybe, right? It obviously didn't happen. 3 years into the business, I'm drowning in work, and I completely forgot that it even existed until I was at a big, huge business retreat. We're talking about goals. We're talking about what we want, and I'm 9 years into this business. I haven't done it. I haven't taken the steps to make that happen. I didn't do any of those things because I wasn't checking my goals. I hadn't even made it like a real goal and I wasn't backing into my goals. So I just kind of had a pie in the sky. One day my business is going to look like this. We do it all the time. One day my business is going to be 100K. One day I'm going to hit 1 million. One day I'm going to write a book. But we're not taking any of the steps that get us to that point. And this is not like a rag on anybody because clearly I've done it. What we need to be doing is making sure that we know what our goals are. Like hardcore, what are your goals right now? So this is what I want you guys to do in the chat, or you can come on the screen. That's fine. Tell me if you have goals for your business. Do you know where you are supposed to be in 5 years? You guys can say yes or no. Maria's like, heck yes, I do. Yes, we have goals. Yes and no. Tell me more. Yes, but it's not written down. So kinda. Okay. Okay. So we're getting a little bit. Okay. Yes, but they change. That's not bad. I'm going to move a little bit. I'm going to jump into but they change. Your goals should be fluid. A lot of people don't know that, and they get really hard on themselves about their goals because they're like, I'm going to go to the moon. And then they don't quite make it to the moon. And they're like, oh my gosh, I suck. That was so hard. I'm going to hit 20K, but then they only hit 18. And they're like, oh my gosh, that was so hard. Like, I suck. I didn't get it. I didn't get there. We do that a lot. We do that a ton with ourselves, but that's not what it is. Goals aren't like you have to hit your goal or you suck at this. Goals are like, this is where I'm headed. And I'm going to do everything that I can to get there. And sometimes we don't quite make it. That's totally fine. And sometimes we set goals in January and then we get to July and we're like, I can't do that. That's not what's going to happen. Or my priorities have changed and I don't want that to be my goal anymore. It is completely, those were oddly specific. It is completely okay to change your goals as needed within your business. That is not a failure. That doesn't mean you didn't make it. That just means that goals are fluid and they're supposed to be fluid. So here's what I want us to do. We are cruising through this content. Here's what I want you guys to do. We are going to write out your 5-year goals right now. Like right now. So I want you to think, actually, let's go 10. Is 10 too far? 10 is too far. Okay, let's do 5. I have 10, but I'm a little crazy and that's totally fine. So let's do 5. I want you guys, get a pen, get a paper, pull it up on your computer. I don't care how you do it. And I want you guys to be like, okay, 5 years in the future, what does my business look like? What am I doing? How many hours am I working? How much money am I bringing in? How many clients do I have, etc. You want to be hyper specific with this. If you're just like, I'm going to have a fully formed business and it's going to be making money. That means something different to everyone and it will mean something different to you in 3 weeks. So you're going to be like, my business in 5 years will be making $200,000. We will have 300 people that are working with us, that are clients. I'll have 5 people on staff, whatever that looks like. Break it down, write it out. I'm going to be very quiet so you guys can actually do it. And then feel free to share if you are willing to share. All right, how much more time do we need? Give me like fingers. 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 4 minutes. I got you. We're going to sit here together and work. Hey, and just so you guys know, I can't see what you in the polls. I can't break it down and be like, oh, Jennifer said this. I just know the percentages. So don't feel like anyone's judging you. Nobody sees it. You guys can see my answers because I'm recording this. So if you watch the recording, you'll be able to see that. But I can't see your stuff. So don't feel like anyone's judging you or like you don't want to put your stuff out. Nobody can see it. Hey, Lauren, I'm going to talk about this. You guys can mute me if you're working and you want me to be quiet for a second because I'm going to answer this question. All right. Lauren said, I have a hard time with goals in general. I struggle with big picture thinking sometimes. That's why I'm an admin queen. I prefer the small stuff. Tell me, Lauren, like, what do you want from your business? Like, what do you want? What's your end game? Are you just making money for your family? Do you want to save time? Like, what is your end game? Oh. Okay, Michaela, it is totally okay if you don't know the steps to get there. That's what we're doing. Right now, you're just going to be like, this is what I want. I want this. I want $1 million. I want 100K. I want a book written. Those are obviously the things I'm working on. It's a book. That's why I keep saying it. It's a pain in the butt. Whatever that looks like. I want to only work 4 hours a day and have a successful business. But you have to define what successful is. I do not accept successful as a goal. And right now, we're just writing it out. Okay. How are we doing on this? Does anyone want to share their 5-year goal? Cool. Lauren, all you're going to do is you're going to say, so Lauren said, I'm trying to make enough so I won't have to go back to a full-time job. Great. How much is that a month? And if that's $5,000 or $4,000 or $10,000 or two, whatever it is, you're going to say, my business consistently generating X amount a month. That's a goal. That's it. Okay. 5-year goals, 2 million in annual income. Perfect. Team of ad strategists, social media manager, copywriter, so I can focus on what I love to do, which is caching. I don't know what that is. Set up trust for grandkids. Yes. Get the screenplay out of my head and onto paper. Coaching. I should have figured that out. I'm a little dyslexic, and if I see a word I don't know, I don't even know how to sound it out. Like, yes, you can audio answer. Will someone jump off for just a second so that Michaela can audio answer? Because she's not on screen. Oh, you are on screen. Come back, whoever just left. Okay, Michaela, let's hear it. Perfect. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do next. That's okay. A lot of people struggle with goals because of all of these problems, and they're like, "Oh, but I don't know how to get there." So I set a goal, and then like me, I was like, "I am going to create this whole entire database of photographers," and I set the goal, and I didn't know how to do it, so I went this way. Like the goal was over here, but I didn't know how to do it, so I just like said it was a thing, and then I went over here, right? So the next step is we're learning how to back into our goals. So your next step is going to be like, okay, if my 5-year goal is these millions and the healthcare providers and these clinics, what's my 3 years? What has to be done in 3 years in order to get there? So for you, that might be maybe one of those is being built. Maybe you have 3 people already that are working for you. What does that look like? You have to do it with that 5-year in mind. So if you're getting to the 5-year, what does 3 look like? Total of 9 clients in a month, plus 3 mentor clients, team of social media managers, writer, editor, website SEO and maintenance. I also have a coach, professional branding done, pictures professionally done. Yay for good pictures. I will be bringing in, I think it's supposed to be 100 to 200. Perfect. All right, write out your 3. I'm going to be quiet again. 3 years. That's perfect, Lauren. That's perfect. So, Lauren, as we keep going, you're not going to go 3 years, 2 years, 1 year like I'm going to have everyone else do. You're going to break it down into months. Perfect, Maria. I love it. TEDx speaker. Perfect. Perfect. So, like, Jamie, your 3 year goal might be to be like, I know everything about how to become a TEDx speaker. You might be like, I have to be making 500K by 3 years. Okay, give me fingers. You guys need 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Or like a thumbs up if you're like, I'm good. Okay, we're good to move. Keep going. We're feeling okay. Okay, I'm reading the 3 year goals. Perfect. Who wants to share their 3 years? Does anyone want to share that? Anyone else? I read some of them in the comments, but if anyone else wants to spend more time on theirs, we can. Okay, we will move ahead. The next one that you're going to do is we're going to start breaking it down a little tighter. So if that's your 3 year goal, whatever your 3 year goal is to have 4 published books, 3 new homes, investment portfolios, etc. Cool. So what's 2 years? What has to be done in 2 years in order to hit 3? Like we're going, again, we're setting the goal, but now we're stepping it out. We're not going to set the goal like I did and then go the other direction. Reverse engineer, exactly. And yes, more people can come on video. I kicked someone off and then we didn't need to, so I apologize. Okay, start throwing up your 2 year goals, guys. Break it down more. What does 2 years look like? 2 years from now, what are you doing? What does it look like? Okay, and I'm going to have you guys, while you do this one, because the next step is easy, do a year out from now too. And if you are guiding this and you're like, oh my gosh, a year out from now. So if I'm splitting in half what I have to accomplish in 2 years and it's a year out from now and you're like, there is no freaking way. Like it is humanly not possible. Sometimes that means we have to adjust our top goal. Sometimes it means that we have to replan our year. It's kind of up to you to decide what that looks like. If you're like, oh, that means I have to make $1 million in a year and I've never made it past 50,000, that might not be something that we're going to get to this year. And so we're just going to keep adjusting until it works. So do 2 year and 1 year and then throw them in the chat for me so I can see where you're at and I will stop talking again. For anyone who's just hopping on, we are writing our goals. I see those numbers go up a little bit. Complete my business course, finish all my branding, have systems completely set up. Q1 content by December 31st, first quarter content. Perfect. 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 Awesome. How far are you in your book writing process right now? Like, yeah. Do you have it drafted? Like, are you done? Are you almost done? Are you ahead of me? That's what I need to know. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Awesome. Awesome. So, yes, you are ahead of me in the book writing category. That's fantastic. Okay. Anyone else want to share your 1 year? In case anyone cared, my 1 year is my book will be published. It was supposed to be published in April and I didn't finish it. So, you know. Okay. Okay. Cool. I feel like all of us need to hold you to approaching that connection and making that happen. Okay, so here's the next piece. And some people hate this process, but like we're gonna power through it. Okay, the next one is you're gonna do 6 months, right? So if you're meeting this man, if you are getting a contract with him within 6 months, that's what you need to do in a year. So within 6 months, you probably need to have come in contact with each other. A conversation probably needs to have been had. And remember, all of these goals are headed to your big 5 year goal. Everything is moving that direction. Okay. Share your 6 months if you want to share your 6 months, and then we'll do the part that I really like. All right, we're going to finish up 6 months. And the next piece is to be like, okay, cool. What is my biggest goal this month? Because again, we set the big things. And I know a bunch of you are like, Kara, obviously we know where you're headed. That's fine. We set the big things. We're stepping into it. Now I know what my goal is for this month. As we do these all out, now I can say, hey, this month to reach my big goal, I have to do this. This is what it looks like this month. And all of these other things floating around, all of these other opportunities that want to grab my attention, cotton candy machines and hotels and all of those other things, it's way easier to say no when I can be like, no, but my goal looks like this. This month, I am doing this. This has to get done. So write that out. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you guys because a lot of us are going to write these all out and then we're going to forget about them. Don't lie. We do it. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is this right here, and I'll put it in the chat for you. This is how I track my goals. Anyone who's a part of my program, I have a 6-month business academy. Anyone who's a part of my program does this. We come in here and we break this out exactly like you guys did. We're going, what are your 5-year goals? Right at the top, 5-year goals. And then we do 2-year goal, 3-year goals, or 2, it depends on who they are, what they want. 2, 1, 6 months. And then we go, okay, what this month? What the crap are you getting done? And then every week you come in here and you say, okay, this should say weekly goals. I apologize for my mistake. And then every week you come in here and say, okay, this is my goal for this month. So what 4 things need to happen this week to hit this monthly goal? What 4 things do I need to be doing this week? And you come in every single week. I do this every single week. Mine is significantly bigger than this at this point in time because I have one for my personal life and this business and my other business and my family stuff. But you want to come in here every single week and make sure you're looking at this. You want to review your 5-year goal and be like, this is where I'm headed. I'm headed right here. Am I still headed in that direction? What does this look like? Am I changing my goal a little bit? Have my plans changed? What does that look like? Then we're doing the 2 years, same thing. Or that can be 3, 1 year, 6 months, all the way through. If you're like, am I still headed this way? What needs to be altered? What needs to be changed? What has to be done this month? And then what the frick has to be done this week in order to get closer and closer to that. This takes all of the other to-dos. I mean, we still have other things we're going to do. I'm still like, oh my gosh, I have to reply to my emails, which I hate. Or I still have to fix my website or those things. Those things still creep in. But I have to do these things. The single most important things in my business are these 4 things. If something gets done, it's going to be these 4 things first. And then we don't feel, oh my gosh, is that an endless tunnel for you guys? Oh, it is now. I see. Okay. And then we don't feel so overwhelmed by all the stuff because we don't have to say yes to all the stuff. We don't have to get distracted by all the stuff. Every week we say, and I'm dead serious about doing this every week. Every week we say, this is my tunnel vision. These are the single most important things that have to be done this week. And then I break them down into days too. There's 4 because I also have certain days that I don't have other things scheduled. So I assign them to days. On Friday, this has to get done. On Monday, this has to get done so that we're getting closer and closer to our goals without this crazy overwhelmed feeling where we're just doing without a process. We're doing without a plan. Building a business takes time. It is not built overnight, and that's totally okay. But if we lose sight of where we're going, we end up over here working our butts off as a photographer, working 80-hour weeks when we were supposed to be making the coolest website in the world. Right? So we want to make sure that we're doing that and taking care of those things. What questions do you guys have for me at this point? We're basically done. So questions, takeaways. If you're like, wow, the best takeaway for me for that was I don't have goals or whatever. Tell me where we at. Yeah, go. Yes. Yay. Does anyone else have a takeaway? Biggest takeaway. I will call names, but I would rather, it's okay. Biggest takeaway. You don't have to go as big picture as everyone else. Thank you. I have a whole tangent that we don't have time for, but yes, I agree. Focus on the immediate things and let the things go that don't lead you towards your big picture. Yes. Really think about this more. I love the goal tracker. If you don't have a starting point, here is the link to the goal tracker. Make a copy. Make a copy. If you just try to edit it, it won't work and it will release all your stuff. Make a copy first, okay? Okay. You are 90 to 95% more likely to accomplish your goals if you are checking in with someone every week. If you are only beholden to yourself, you are less likely to get there. Get an accountability buddy. In the 6-month academy, I'm everyone's accountability buddy. They all have to report to me. For you guys, find someone. Find someone to buddy up with and have them check it. 90 to 95% more likely to accomplish your goals just if you're checking in with someone every week. Huge, 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 crazy deal. Okay? So take the tracker, go to our link and get the essentials checklist. It'll kind of help you again see where you are in your business and where you want to be spending your time. What questions? Any other questions? Any other questions? Let's chat. I just put it in the chat. Can you see the chat? Yeah, you were in there earlier. It's the one that says docs.google.com. It's 2 up. Yes, a mastermind group is a great place for this, Dira. Okay. If we do not have any other questions, I am going to let you guys go. No reason to hang out longer than we have to. Your goals for this week, your job, your assignments, because everyone always give people next steps. Finish writing out your goals. Put them in front of your face somewhere that you're going to see and check in on them all the time. Download the checklist. Download the checklist. Download the checklist. I do have a new academy starting tomorrow that I have 2 spaces in. So if somebody randomly is like, I need to be a part of that, message me. I only have 2 spots. And I wasn't even going to say anything. So it kind of came as a win. All right. Yeah, I think we're done. Let me know if you need me. I will be hanging out here for about an hour or 2 more. So you can start a private chat, a direct message if you need to do that, if you need to ask any